Perhaps there are some of you out there that, concerning Nine Lashes, initiated your burgeoning path of entertainment, I would imagine, of their works with me on the first initial video I published for Breaking Out. And as I admitted there, the video takes a bit of a deviant path from what's normally the mainstay form here in content structure, in that this is more so based on first impressions. And I readily admitted that Breaking Out, I had humored it a number of years ago when it first released, or somewhere around that time. Probably, I'd say generally that time frame. So it's a bit different in approach, right? It wasn't a tune that was exactly fresh to me. But yet I think back on it, and it was sort of like a renewal experience. I at least whittled it down to, as far as I was concerned, because I've been meaning to cover Nine Lashes for a while in regards to some of their updated tracks. I've been, as I said, meaning to do this since June of 2022, and I'll keep this simple, I spent 3 days in consecutive order updating my iTunes playlist, and I realized in the process, as I was going for a number of groups and connection points, being like, oh, they've got new music, and they got new music, I wasn't even aware of it, that Nine Lashes had published 6 new tunes. I've been waiting for probably about a year. I've been so behind in work. I've kept meaning to get to them. As I said, Nine Lashes for me, I'm surprised I didn't get back on them sooner, because I think back with my history of this group, in particular in my heyday years of developing metalhead love as it concerned the Christian metal scene. Yeah, I've been very clear about my faith and my experiences in terms of entertaining music as a general art form and why it has such a beloved presence in my life apart from others. A real central love, in fact. To me, there's just nothing like it. Nine Lashes was one of the stronger presences in my childhood. I truly admired them when they came on the scene, and certainly got mainstream appeal for their second album, World We View. That one got a lot of regard. I mean, I don't know, it's certainly not much in my personal circles, which my people that I know personally have never related to me in regards to music tastes. Many of you have, though. It's been so nice to remind me that I'm not as isolated as I thought, especially when it concerns rock music and Christian rock, especially for a group that is so explicit about their faith and unapologetic. And creatively, I say this again in respect to Breaking Out, weaves in a duality of sorts in lyrical construction between an explicit Christian vision with such a redemptive message that is so applicable and practical to real life, and yet stated in such a unique manner on like a poetic side. It's not really poetic, but it was a great piece to entertain again for a second time. And I did intentionally wait to, remind myself of how good it was with you. I wanted to have that renewal experience, and it served in a unique place as a fanfare to entertaining Nine Lashes' new works that fit more so the model of this channel, and that I have not heard the 6 tracks we're about to listen to, not in just one video, split apart for each individual release, starting with Guilty Hands. I'm going by the release order in terms of the singles, not by the order, at the very least, what was planned as an album. I hope this thing gets released, by the way. I can't wait to hear at least the unreleased tracks. I'm looking at the lyrics website, and that's how they term them. Some of them have really good names. We have 6 singles, though, that I can't wait to hear it with you. Especially, as I said, as it concerns this channel, I've not only had a side goal as I bring music into a grander focus, which has been a long-time aspiration of mine, but to plant seeds for, it's twofold. To plant seeds for new listeners. I'm sure many of you are Nine Lashes fans, and it's wonderful to have you in the company of what we're about to entertain, for sure. But I also truly hope that some of you are approaching on a first-name basis, and that you've never heard Nine Lashes before. I do hope to inspire perhaps paths for you to explore of talents that you didn't know about, but you deserve your focus. Nine Lashes certainly does. I mean, I've been a fan of them, as I said, for years, since their second album came out, and I've listened to, I think, nearly everything. Well, save for these singles, which we're about to entertain together, and I can't wait to add that onto my library. I really hope you come to like this group. I've admired them again for a long time. And in respect to being a Christian rock, group, I've been meaning to sort of equalize the focus I've given plenty of secular groups, which are all equally talented. There's not been a song on this channel that I've not liked consulting, especially with you on a first-time listen. Having that fellowship experience, I truly crave it when it comes to music. I think it makes the experience much more fulfilling, at least for me. Maybe for you as well. But I've wanted to be able to spotlight more Christian rock groups and metal groups. Plenty are coming in that respect. I certainly have a number in consideration lined up, and we'll probably probe those, God willing, at some point, hopefully soon, although it takes, I don't know. I'm as I said, I'm behind in a lot of work. And now I'm finally getting to 9 Lashes a number of years after these tracks released. In fact, I'm way behind. I'm much later than I wanted to be. Anywho, let's go ahead and take a look at Guilty Hands together and have a fresh experience. And if you're not familiar with my content, you know, as I've said many times, I try and keep my content as generally applicable as I can. So if you're somebody who wants to read along with the narrative of the piece, I tend to usually input the lyrics manually for you. In this case, as I said with 9 Lashes, they've given me a wonderful provision that I can get these videos up even faster than normal, and I don't mind exercising extra effort in order to give you a complete take and help you out, perhaps so you don't have to pull up a separate tab or anything. 9 Lashes has produced for every song we're going to consult a lyric video. So they've done the hard work for me. And I'm sure it'll be a fun visualizer to complement a beautiful song. Again, I'm going off of years of experience and familiarity of 9 Lashes. I can't wait to humor them. I've been dying to do it. And with you, makes the experience all the more fulfilling. So let me pull up this next one. Hang on a minute. 9 Lashes, Guilty Hands. All right. I can't wait to humor them. Let's hear them together for a new song. I've waited for this. Okay, here we go. Speaking of the human side in terms of the Guilty Hands model, I mean, the heartbeat tone is really interesting. Okay, here's our entrance path. Oh man, that range. Dark riff. I'm trying to decipher the key. It's kind of hard to tell because it is at such a lower pitch. Okay. Somewhat. Tank's taking on like a Adam Gontier flair of his voice. That's like the former Free Days Grace frontman now with Saint Sonia. He sounds exactly like him. Yeah, I've never noticed that before. I hear it here explicitly. Very creative Christian philosophy on part of the writing. Organic, at least in the way I experience it. See, like I said, this is the Adam Gontier flair. That's nuts to me. It sounds exactly like him. That inflection on the "Why Are You Hiding" is a great raise. Yeah, settle back in that riff. Nice layering. That's a great line. Deeply human. Even construction. Especially towards the end. I mean, it's a nice reprisal to the beginning. That's a creative wind. What track is this on the album lineup? in terms of consideration, which one's next? That is Shadows. Shadows is way earlier on. Okay, so we're going to hear the follow-up to this one, at least an album envisioning with 3 songs away from now with Rise. Okay, that's a really interesting electronic outro. They've never done that before, at least from what I'm thinking of. Maybe they haven't, I'm forgetting about it. I mean, they've had a electronic tone to some of their albums, and really that invaded through From Water to War. That was quite explicit for them, though. Really interesting, especially on tone. A good dark riff to start. I mean, that's particularly solid. I do get flashback vibes to World Review. My initial experience with them was just so great. Man, I can still think of that. And From the Lonely, that was the track that brought me in, like probably most people. And there were others too, like Get Back was particularly good. It's a strong piece, and again, I love the writing structure. I mean, I look for originality in presence of the songs I entertain, and I always like, in terms of the music, that I can sort of define some sort of specific trait that sets one song apart from another. And you'll forgive me if, again, most of these are constructed around first takes. It's hard to consider every detail, sometimes, especially when songs require greater depth of analysis, and they sit in better upon subsequent listens. But I always try to recognize something. Writing-wise, I've said, at least in my experience, I tend to prefer, I'm sure many would be able to attest to this, even if maybe haven't acknowledged it verbatim, that I tend to float an ambition towards the more originalist, less cliche in expression, or at least I try. I don't know, that's what I aspire to. So when I hear lyrics that take on a more organic path, even if they're reframing in a new way, not changing, of course, in message or intention, but they're just sort of stating it differently. If they're adapting Christian messages, they're directly driven out of Scripture into, its own materialization that is more independent of other efforts, I find it charming. And I have to say, with this song in the chorus, where do they? Well, let me see. There were a couple lines that stuck out to me. Why do you run? Why are you hiding? The guilt will know where to find you. Lay down your guns. Why are you fighting? Is my name not forgiveness? Again, explicit Christian destination with a poetic flair that most people, I think, would drive it down to that message again, especially if you have the Christian attribution in mind going in. But I just find the wording structure, and I can say this again from a writing background, it's what I majored in. So it's one of the first things I notice. Stylistically, it's an independent piece, at least for me, in expression. If I compare it to other pieces where maybe there is, again, a similar message, but it's stated in its own unique way. The guilt will know where to find you. I like that. Especially the way it is organized on wording. Guilty hands have paved the way to emptiness. Strong on writing, and on music as well. Tank's inflections. I am so surprised. I've not heard that before. I need to go back and obviously re-listen to every piece from Nine Lashes, because is that usual that he is almost interchangeable with Saint Asonia as Adam Gontier? That's nuts. I've never heard that before. By the way, preview, Saint Asonia, they're on the list. They're coming at some point. I have to shuffle down what tracks I want to consult. I just haven't looked into it yet. I've got so many names I want to look at. I'm a big 3 Days Grace fan, though, so I remember the heyday. And the new guy's pretty good, too. I forget his name, but he's growing on me. But Adam Gontier was like, I love hearing him. And he'll be, another prelude, he'll be coming soon through the Skillet collaboration. I have not entertained that work yet. I can't wait to either. They, like Nine Lashes, have been in the waiting for a while for some, I'm just behind on everything. Man, and I've been a Skillet fan for like, I don't know, since I was, 8, 9? Maybe a little older. I forget, but it's been years. Like, why didn't I get to these groups sooner in terms of considerations? I don't know, I spent so much time with fresh presences, especially, don't even get me started on, like, the European scene. I spend so much time there, many of you know. So, rerouting back to familiar talents, I mean, I don't know. We'll get to everybody I have in the waiting wings eventually. Nine Lashes is just the newest one. I'm fulfilling my personal promise on, because I don't think I've ever stayed outright Nine Lashes within the lineup, or at least in consideration, but they were. I intended to with you. And I hope you had some enjoyment, experiencing that piece. Perhaps, again, like I said, I truly hope that there is a mixture of perspective on this. Longtime fans, of course, welcome you. We're in the same boat, right? But fresh fans as well. I really hope that listen was compelling for you to look deeper. And again, as I said, we're going to be experiencing 5 more tracks in total post this for the first time. So let me know what your thoughts are down below, as well as your angle if you do wish to disclose that. I'd love to hear your feedback. I think this piece is pretty exquisite. And on the music side, it does have that tone of Worldly View. It's maybe it's more Worldly View. Especially on that rock basis, it reminds me so much of those earlier pieces. Structuring, it's a lot of fun. Great drive throughout. Beautiful structuring as well to match with the inflection points. Independent with Tank. Again, I could speak again to Adam Gontier flair. It's just funny to me. I can't get over that. But it matches quite well to the scope of the score. For me, it just makes it an instantly endearing song. And on lyrics, the message, deeply resonant. Restoration, spiritual restoring as well, especially from, I would say, self-condemnation. It's a very relatable thing, especially personally. It's a concept that I deal with, spiritually speaking. I wrestle with it daily. Many of you know I've spoken about that, and I won't necessarily hinder this video I want to keep it simple in explanation. So, largely, looking at this track, I just can't wait to humor more. I love 9 Lashes, and this is just an instant throwback for me. But all the years I was a fan, I should have gotten them sooner, considering that, but it's great to go back down that rabbit trail again, especially with new listens. And Guilty Hands is, on a rock basis and a spiritual basis, quite strong. And I expect that from 9 Lashes, and I feel that they truly deliver in that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.